Hi everyone, and welcome back to my 6-part video series that talks about business financial literacy for the independent stylist and also for the salon and for salon owners as well. So in part 1, I talked about picking the right business structure and why it's important. Part 2, I talked about setting up an accounting system. And then in part 3, I talked a little bit about cash flow management and showed you a spreadsheet that you can use to manage your cash flow or manage the cash flow for your entire salon, or if you're an independent contractor or rather an independent stylist, how you can manage your cash flow as a business owner or as an independent worker. So in this series, I'm going to cover tax planning and tax compliance. But what I'm going to focus on, I'm only going to focus on calculating your estimated taxes, because tax planning and tax compliance is a huge topic, and there's a lot that's involved with both. So I'm going to focus only on calculating and paying your estimated taxes. I'm going to share with you one of the calculators that I created that will help you very easily calculate your quarterly estimated taxes. All you need to know is the amount of money you made within a quarter. And once you plug that number in, you can automatically calculate your quarterly estimated taxes, which will let you know how much you are required to pay the IRS for any given quarter. Now, this calculator only covers federal taxes with the IRS. It does not cover your state taxes. What I normally do is, for example, in Georgia, the state tax is about 5.75%. And you can just take your total income or your net income for any given quarter, multiply it by 6% or whatever the percentage rate is in your state, and you can just use that to pay your state's quarterly estimated taxes. So that's a really quick way of doing it. So in this video, I'm going to be focusing strictly on paying your quarterly estimated taxes to the IRS. But before I get started, I'd like to remind you to not forget to sign up for my waitlist. As you can see, the membership site is going to be launching in about 9 days. So I'll be launching on September 1st, 2020. So if you want to know exactly what's behind the scenes and what I've been doing over the last 2 or 3 months, then join my waitlist and you'll be the first to know as soon as I launch September 1st, 2020. Okay, so now that I've talked about that, let's get into calculating your estimated tax payments. One of the most common questions I get from a lot of my salon owners and stylists is, how can I calculate my quarterly estimated tax payments? So how can I find out how much I have to pay every quarter to the IRS? And because the way that salon owners and stylists make money, it's up and down. It changes from week to week, from month to month, and from quarter to quarter. So in order for you to get an accurate payment, or rather in order for you to send the IRS a payment that is as accurate as possible, it's not going to be exact. It's important that you calculate your estimated taxes every quarter so that you have an idea of how much you owe. Now, you can always hire an accountant to calculate it for you every 3 months. Now, not every 3 months, but every quarter. Now, if you decide that that's not something you want to do, or it's not in your budget, or you just don't want to pay for that particular service, this estimated calculator is the perfect tool for you, because it's going to help you accurately calculate your quarterly estimated tax payments every quarter. Now, this tool is one of the tools that is going to be available, or one of the calculators that's going to be available when you become a member of the Finances for Salon Professionals membership club. Okay, so what you would do is you would first of all pick the quarter that you are about to pay. So let's assume that we are in the first quarter. You would pick the first quarter. In this instance, on September 15th, the third quarter is going to be due. So you would choose the third quarter, quarter 3. You're going to pick if you're single, if you're filing jointly, if you're head of household, or if you're married filing separately. So you're going to pick whichever one refers or relates to you. And then if you or your spouse is over 65 years old, you're going to pick 10 taxpayer or spouse only, or you're going to pick both if you're both over 65, or you would pick neither if neither one of you are over 65. And then if either one of you is blind, you will pick neither if none of you are blind, both if you're both blind, or taxpayer and spouse if only one is blind. And then you're going to type in here the number of dependents that you have, children, and then you'll type in here the number of other dependents that are not children. Now, it took me a very long time to build this calculator. There was a lot that went into building the calculator. There's a lot that went on behind the scenes. However, I made it so easy that all you have to do is just plug in some numbers and you get the answer that you're looking for. So if you are an independent stylist, or if you are a salon owner, and you also have a W-2 job, in other words, you work for someone and you receive a paycheck, you're going to include your wages here for the quarter that we're working with. If you file jointly, this is very important. If you file jointly, you have to make sure that you include your spouse's wages in this cell. So you have to look to see how much your spouse made within that quarter that we are working with. So for example, right now we are working in the third quarter. So by September 15th, we'll be looking to see how much you made or how much your spouse made from January up until August 31st. That is the end of the third quarter. Okay. Now, if you don't have wages, you don't have to worry about that. So in this case, as a business owner, you're going to enter your business income. Let's assume that you made let's say $75,000 in the third quarter. So you're going to type in 75,000. If you have any retirement distributions, you're going to enter it here. If you're collecting Social Security, you're going to include that. If you have rental income, you're going to include that. So if you have any other income, you're going to include whatever type of income you have. And if the type of income that you received, if you don't see it here, you'll just add it in other income, okay? And then there are other cells that you have to look at. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into this because I am going to create an actual tutorial video showing you step by step how to actually use this calculator. But for right now, I'm just quickly showing you what's going to be available to you when you become a member of the Finance for Salon Professionals membership club, okay? Now, as you can see, we've keyed in our business income of $75,000, and that is for the third quarter. Okay, based upon that information, we know that you owe $18,603 to date. So that is how much you should have paid the IRS for your third quarter. Now remember, the first and second quarter have come and gone. If you paid the IRS for the first quarter and for the second quarter, you want to add up how much you paid so far to date. So let's assume that the first quarter you owed $5,000, and in the second quarter you owed $6,000. And you made those payments already, okay? So that means that you have already paid $11,000 to the IRS. So in here, you are going to type in how much you've already paid to the IRS. In this case, it's $11,000. And then it tells you, okay, this is the amount that is due at this time. So now you have to send in another $7,603 to the IRS to cover your third quarter taxes, okay? So just to recap, this is where you're going to pick the quarter that we're working in. In this case, we're working in the third quarter. You're going to choose all of the other variables that apply to you. You're going to key in your business income. If you have rental property, you want to key that in here as well. And then once you've keyed in all the income that you've made, then you are going to see how much is due for the quarter. And then you're going to key in how much you've already paid to date. If you've already paid something in the second quarter and the first quarter, you're going to add it up you're going to key it in here, and then you're going to be left with the total amount that is currently due, and then you will send that amount to the IRS. So it's really that simple. I've made it really simple, where you no longer have to pay anyone to calculate your quarterly estimated taxes, nor do you have to worry about trying to calculate it yourself if you don't know what you're doing. This is simple. Now keep in mind that these are considered estimated, which means it may not be exact. When you actually file your tax return, you might owe a little bit less or you might owe a little bit more, but it's not going to be too far apart as long as you're making sure that you are keeping up with your quarterly estimated payments. The whole idea is for you to avoid having to owe the IRS a whole lot of money come tax time. So at the end of the year, at tax time, it's a lot easier to have paid. Let's say you owe $20,000 for 2020 and you hadn't paid any estimated taxes. It's challenging to come up with $20,000 at one time, unless you've been saving up money anticipating that you're going to owe the IRS quite a bit. But if you haven't been saving up money, it's challenging to come up with $20,000 at once. It's a whole lot easier to pay the IRS $5,000 every quarter. So that's why it's very important to make sure that you keep on top of your quarterly estimated tax payments. And for those of you that want to do that, and for those of you that are interested in doing that, this is the perfect tool that will help you achieve your goal. Okay? Once again, thanks a lot. And don't forget to sign up for the waitlist so you can be the first to know when the membership site launches. Thanks. Have a great day.